In today's video we take a look at Caustics and go into different render engines and figure out how it works in different render engines. For this process I use a diamond scene that I did in Cinema 4D and Octane. You can get a diamond on Lazytextures. You can also get 300 assets completely for free CC0 on Lazytextures. Maybe you check it out and let's get started. First we need to understand what caustics are. Caustics are concentrated light patterns that get created when light is focused on a reflective or refractive object. Good examples for these light patterns are swimming pools or diamond rendering, or also glass or something like this. Something when a light is hitting through a refractive or reflective object with a small light amount, so the light is small and the brightness is very high, like sunlight or a small light source that is spreading out some bright light concentration. This is not a visual choice or something, it's like a physical light behavior that is also in the nature. These caustics get created when light is changing its direction inside of an object. The energy gets conserved and the light gets high intensity on a few pixels or a small scale. This is the reason why it's really hard to render it in normal path tracers. The problem is it takes a long time and you get a lot of fireflies or noise out of your renders if you wanna render caustics. One good and clean way for render this out is photon rendering. By photon rendering, millions of photons get shoot through an object and creates this pattern. This method is not 100% physical based. It's also memory heavy. It's also hard to tune, but you get really nice results out of it, and it's the easiest and quickest way to render caustics. Redshift, Octane, Arnold and V-Ray is using this method. Blender is using bidirectional path tracing to solve caustics. This is physically correct, but it's hard to render this out in most of the glass objects. Also you need to set up some few things. I don't know, I tried it a little bit, but it's a little bit hard to do it, but we get into this a little bit later. But now we take a deeper look into the different render engines and how to set up some real and nice looking caustics. So we start with Octane. Octane is really easy for me because I use it like every day, so I don't have any problems to do this because I did it a few times and I don't have many problems with that because it's easy for me. I use it since I started my career, so it's easy for me, so I started. So first we need to set up an specular material. For every specular material in this video, so in every render engine I use the index of 2.417. And Octane is a good example for the fake caustic rendering because it uses photon rendering. So with the photon tracer you can shoot millions of photons into your object and it's really easy to render this out. So I used photon rendering, tried to play with some settings, and yeah, that's what I came up with. It's also important that I have a small light source that is emitting this caustics. This small light source has a big intensity, but as I told you, it's quick and easy. You can just set it up, small light source, a little bit playing with the settings, and we get this out. I think it's a good result, so let's go to Redshift. Inside of Redshift I also use the photon rendering to solve the caustics. You also need to set up an specular material and allow caustics. After that I go to the render settings and click on caustic photon rendering. And yeah, this is what I came up with. As you can see, it looks a little bit different besides Octane. I don't know, I think the render engines look a little bit different. I really tried to recreate that Octane look, but as you can see it's a little bit different. Maybe it looks a little bit realer if it's not spreading that much caustics into my scene, but I also like this render, but yeah, it's a little bit different to other render engines or Octane. So I liked it, and now go to Corona render. Inside of Corona render it's a little bit different because it's a CPU based renderer. Mostly use GPU based renderer because I have a good GPU and not so good CPU, so I have a Ryzen 7 5800X, so that's not the best idea to render CPU based, but I tried it and it's really fast, so it doesn't take that much long and the results are really good. So I don't know, it's also like the other render engines, you just need to check up some caustic settings and click on the show caustics or allow caustics checkmark and it works, and it also looks like Octane, so I really like this. I played a little bit with Corona and the caustic rendering before I made this video, so I really like it. I like how it came up with. It looks like Octane, and yeah, it's a little bit, obviously a little bit slower than Octane because I don't use CPU rendering, but CPU rendering is also really good to scale up if you have multiple CPUs or render farm. It works really good, so I really like it, and yeah, let's go to Blender. As always, in Blender it was a little bit different. I don't know, I watched out a few tutorials, I never did this, but I really don't get it worked. So I tried a little bit with the settings. There are also some add-ons in Blender that you can use to fake caustics. I mean, I like it, it looks really good, so I would also use something like this. I think it's also working with Eevee, so you have real-time caustics, that's also nice. You go to your object that should emit caustics, and in shading you have the little setting that is called Caustics. Then click on Cast Shadow Caustics on this check mark, and also go to your ground object and select Receive Shadow Caustics, and then you have the caustics. And I think it looks a little bit weird because there are not so many caustics, and I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but I think it's like I should be, I don't know. So the caustics are there, but they are not that much or a little bit different. So I kind of like it, but it's also not that, yeah, the strength is not that hard. So I don't know, maybe I did something wrong or Blender can't really use this. You can also go to your render settings and enable path guiding. I think that helps a little bit, and in the previous Blender versions it was like only in the CPU version, so you can't really use it in GPU, so the checkmark for path guiding was not there. But I think in Blender 5 or something they added that, and you now can use it in GPU way, but it also don't change that much, so I don't know. So this is how it works in Blender, and this is the end of the video. I really like to try it a little bit and go a little bit deeper into caustics, so maybe you liked it, maybe you get something out of it and you can, yeah, use it for your renders. Maybe you check out Lazytextures to get free assets for your projects. I really would appreciate it, so go to the description and yeah, check out Lazytextures for 300 free assets for your projects, and have a great day. Goodbye.